These are the reasons why you're not getting a 3.5 plus GPA in college. And this is coming from literally myself, me, right? I was stuck at 2.2 GPA. I was failing classes, getting C's and D's and F's in all the classes, blah, blah, blah. And this is literally coming from my own transformation. Okay. Without further ado, I'm just going to get it straight out right into it. Okay. Number one is time management, right? A lot of you are missing time management. And when I say time management, let me just get the pen here, right? I'm not talking about to-do list, okay? To-do list is not an actual planning. What planning is actually planning on Google Calendar, knowing what's going on specific times, knowing what specific tasks to do at what specific times, right? You got to know each minute, each hour, what day, what week, what month, right? To-do list is just literally having a to-do list and you don't know what's going on with it specifically. So I don't call to-do list a actual planning. So just to give you an example, let me just get erase this a little bit, right? Now, I'm not really used to doing this. Yeah, like I said, know what tasks are happening at what exact time. You have to keep track of your time spent and wasted. Okay. Now, this is just a mere example of my own class schedule back at UCLA. This was just my general day, like day to day, just like every day, right? I used to wake up at 4:30. Now, just heads up, you don't have to wake up at 4:30 to get good grades, right? You just have to wake up at a time at just that makes sense for you, right? We'll get to sleep schedule later on, but I wake up at 4:30, do a little bit deep work, right, for 2 hours, 3 hours or so. I go ahead and get breakfast, go to classes, so on and so forth, right? I work out, do a little more studying. I know the afternoon, evening times are a little bit cut there, right? But you see how it's specific, right? And within these each block study, right, I used to like include, all right, for this 2 hour block, I'm going to be studying for math homework. I'm going to be studying for chemistry homework. I'm going to be studying for whatever, right? It's got to be specific and specific. Okay. Like I know exactly what time I'm getting breakfast. I know exactly what time I'm working out, so on and so forth. Right. But to-do list is just, right, number one, I got that. Number two, I got this. It doesn't really give you that exact specific like times and what tasks and all that. Right. And to stay efficient and productive, right, it's much better to break this whole, let's say, whole homework assignment into smaller chunks. And to accomplish them, right, you need not just a to-do list, but really a planning, like actual specific planning. Okay. Now, with that, now, side effects of not having a time management. Again, not just a to-do list, but actual time management. Side effects is procrastination. Because at that point, you don't know what the heck's going on with your day. You're just getting by, you wake up in the morning, and you're just kind of, going with the flow. Right. All right. At 9 a.m., I got class. After that, you don't know what to do. I mean, you have homework questions to do. You have assignment to finish. But since you haven't really planned that on your Google Calendar, since you don't really have that locked in on your calendar, you're like, yeah, I can just do it later on, maybe tomorrow, next day, next week. You just keep on procrastinating. And you see, procrastination, which we'll get to later, but procrastination kills everything, right? It messes up your whole schedule, your productivity, your workflow, your time management. It messes up everything. Okay, so you have to start with your time management. You do not have to necessarily use Google Calendar specifically. You can use Notion or even just basic stuff like pen and paper. You can literally write like, all right, at this time I'm going to be doing that. At that time I'm going to be doing that. Like, just make sure to be specific, really specific and exact. Okay. Next up is time and studying strategies, right? Now, one thing that I want to say, and I went through this myself, and that was really, um, not really good for me, right? Now, one thing that I realized the lesson was this: just studying a lot does not equal to good grades. Okay. Now, you see, I used to have D minus, sometimes, I haven't got a screenshot of that, but I failed classes and got a C or whatever, so on and so forth, right? And, I was stuck at 2.2. right? And this quarter, because UCLA goes by quarter here, right? Now, the quarter that I got 2.0 GPA, it was not because classes were extremely difficult, right? These are just like some of them are GE, some of them are just like 101 classes, like intro classes, and so on and so forth. They weren't necessarily difficult or whatever, right? And it's not that I didn't try my best. I was studying a lot. I was studying like 8, 10, 12 hours a day. I was grinding, I was doing my best. I was going to my all the lectures and everything, right? But still, I ended up with 2.0 GPA. So hence, studying a lot, right? Just grinding out doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get good grades, right? What actually gets you good grades is studying in the right direction. Working on the right things gives you the good results, right? You have to study the things that are going to be on the exam, right? Not that you know what are going to be on the exam, but still, like you have to study on the right things. So just studying a lot, just trying to go with the quantity, like how many hours you put into the studying. That doesn't really have to do with you getting good grades. You have to work in the right direction. You have to work effectively and efficiently. Right. This is really important because a lot of people miss this, right? They're just studying a lot. Hey, I studied so much, but why am I not getting good grades? I grinded out every single day. I was staying up so late. I was sacrificing everything just to study. But why am I not getting good grades? It's because you're not working in the right direction, efficiently and effectively. Okay. Again, grinding out, just studying a lot, or just reading textbooks so much, or even just attending your lectures and listening to your professors really carefully, it's not necessarily a studying strategy. Okay. Again, just to emphasize one more time, you have to work in the right direction to really produce good results, right? Now, again, I used to study 8 to 12 hours a day and still I got a 2.0 GPA. You know how miserable I was, right? I was grinding it out every single day, staying up late, sacrificing my hobbies, sleep, working out, my friends and relationships just to study more. But in the end, I still got 2.0 GPA, right? Now, so it's quality over quantity, okay? All the time, not just for studying, but really even working out. Just because you go to the gym and work out every single day, like 3 hours a day, doesn't mean that you're going to get a fit body. You have to work on the right muscle. You have to work at the right time. You have to work with the right skills. You have to work with right posture. Like it has to make sense. The quality of your work is far more important than the quantity, right? Now, with that, the goal, right? The goal is school life balance, right? You want to get good grades. So we're talking 3.5 plus GPA, right? While having free time, right? Having free time means free time to work out, right? On top of studying enough, right? Free time to hang out with your friends, get an internship, join club meetings on campus, even sleep well, right? Be in a relationship, whatever that might be, right? You cannot just study in college, right? That's not a good college experience, right? You want to have everything on top of having a good GPA, right? And this was literally me, right? I was getting 3.5 plus GPA consistently, each quarter, right? And at the same time, I was traveling, being in a relationship with my girlfriend, and I was doing some fun on Friday nights, watching movies or whatever, so on and so forth, right? And that's exactly again what I call school life balance. Not just studying, not just sacrificing everything, but actually having a quality life, right? Now, with that, that leads to number three, daily habits, right? Now, I know a lot of students, especially college students, you guys are, we're always, struggling with procrastination, right? I know we talked about this earlier in this video, but still, let me get back to this a little bit more specific, right? Now, you want to get rid of bad habits. So, for example, the general ones out there, the popular ones, procrastination, waking up late, cramming the night before, right? Let me actually get into each of them like specifically, right? Now, procrastination, again, it kills everything. It messes up with your time management, your productivity, even your health. And you see, one procrastination leads to another procrastination. You see how that happens, right? Once you're like, right, I can do it later, right, on this math homework, and you're like, tomorrow, yeah, you know what? I still have a few more days up until deadline. Let me just procrastinate. Yeah, I don't feel like studying tonight, right, or whatever, right? And that just goes on. And procrastination, it expands also into your life. Once you start saying, all right, I just can do this math assignment later on, and you soon start saying, all right, I can just work out later. I can do whatever my hobbies later. All right, I'm just going to fill this application out later. Like everything becomes later. But you see, once you start doing that, not just your school, not just your grades, but your life and your career also get messed up. Because I literally seen many people procrastinate on internships, applications for internships. And I've seen a student, right, literally miss a deadline for internship. And now she's regretting, but there's nothing she can do about it. She just missed a deadline, right? And that's what could happen to you, right? And now with that, waking up late. Now, waking up late, or I should rather say waking up at inconsistent times every day, right? Waking up early and waking up late, right, is not like a wrong or right thing. We don't have to wake up early. You don't have to wake up late, right? You can just wake up at a time that makes sense for you based on off of your class schedule and your lifestyle, right? But waking up at inconsistent times, right, on a day-to-day basis, sometimes you wake up early, sometimes you wake up late. Like if you're all over the place, that messes up everything, your workflow, your health, your mindset, even your productivity, right? You're just all over the place and you don't have a consistency, right? Cramming the night before, it worsens your productivity. And what I mean by that is this, right? By the time it's like 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m., let's say you've been like procrastinating all day long. You wake up late, you went to lectures here and there, right? You had free time with your friends or whatever. You just got dinner, right? Now it's like 8, 9, 10 p.m. Now you're trying to really lock in. You got your you sit at your desk and you're like really, you know, try and focus here, right? But again, by the time it's like 9 p.m., 10 p.m., you've been already awake for, let's say, 10 hours, 12 hours, right? At that point, you've been using your energy and productivity throughout the day. And now you're trying to focus and use your brain. Think about it. Your productivity compared to in the morning, right? It's just not there, right? Say your productivity is like 100% in the morning, right? And as the time goes throughout the day, your productivity just keeps on decreasing. Your energy level, your brain power just keeps going down. And by the time it's like night, you're going to only have like 50%. If it's good, maybe 30%. So at that point, right, of course, don't get me wrong, like staying up late like once in a while, yes, that could work, right? But if you're doing that every single day, like really like 4, 5, 6 times out of the week, right? Like if it's become a habit for you, right, it's not going to work anymore, right? So avoid and get rid of these habits at all costs. Okay. Now let me move on. Again, I'm not really familiar with doing this new thing, the presentation stuff here. Now, you want to build good habits and healthy habits. For example, my habit that I've been having, right, for the past couple of years is journaling, right? And I try to wake up at consistent waking up time and the bedtime. Again, you don't have to wake up early, like at 4, 5, 6. No, not necessarily, but just be super consistent with it, right? And working out, reviewing after lecture consistently, right? So whatever, those good habits out there, right? Meditation, reading newspaper, or whatever that might be, something you can do, like those small little tasks that you could do on a day-to-day basis just to keep you consistent and disciplined, right? Build those good habits. But what actually matters is instead of building those good habits or healthy habits, it's much better to get rid of these bad habits and stop doing them, right? So focus on getting rid of those bad habits first. And then you can worry about like journaling, whatever, working out, so on and so forth. Okay. Now, lastly, we have routine, right? When you say routine, most people think about morning routine, right? Morning routine. I used to think that I should have always like, all this like crazy morning routine, like 2 hour, 3 hour morning routine. Like I should like wake up at this time, like 5 a.m. I should have like the protein shake, like all that Greek yogurt stuff or whatever. Like I should like have meditation for like 30 minutes. I should do stretching. I should, walk outside or whatever, like do the cold plunge or whatever, right? Yes, I mean, they could work, but I mean, it really depends on each person, right? And you don't have time for like 3 hour morning routine. I've literally seen a lot of students who are trying to do that, right? They're like meditating or whatever. I mean, yes, that could work, but my take is keep it simple and short as possible. Just your morning routine. The purpose of having a morning routine just should be starting your day on the right foot, just to kind of get you in the mood, just kind of wake you up and just get ready for the day, and just keep it short as possible and start your day right away. Right, study, go to class or work or whatever that you got going on in the morning times. Right, so that's your morning routine. Just keep it simple as possible, short as possible. But I'd say like 15, 20, 30 minutes a good range. Okay. Now, obviously, we also have night routine. Night routine, even simpler than morning routine. But again, when it comes to night routine, just once you're done with your day, done with all the homeworks and all that, again, we don't want to cram the night before. We don't want to stay up late. We don't want to like pull all-nighters. No, just stop at whatever time that makes sense for you. 9 p.m., 10 p.m., even 8 p.m., whatever that makes sense for you. Get everything done and just relax. Go to bed, right? Just keep it simple as possible. Now, some other routines that we have are studying routine, workout routine, eating routine. There are a lot of routines that you can make, right? But let me tell you the downsides of not having routine, right? If you lack right routines like morning routine, night routine, or workout routine, eating routine, studying routine, or whatever, right? You're gonna feel out of place. You're gonna feel like you're just kind of going with the flow. You just feel like getting by, right? The reason why we want to have routine is we want to have some kind of structure, like a system that you can stick to, right? System that really works, right? You don't want to just study. If you had a routine for, let's say, math assignment, you're like, all right, I'm going to do this and that. I'm going to set a timer, right? Let me go to the library. Like if you have some kind of routine, like consistent routine that you just follow through, you don't have to like guess every single time. You just have to follow through, right? If you have like a workout routine, like instead of just like wandering at the gym, like, oh, what should I do today? Like, what should I be working out? Like, should I lift weight? Should I do cardio? Like, you know what to do, like where to go, what to do at what times or whatever, right? It's more like structuralized and it's more founded, right? Instead of just getting by, right? That's the reasons why you want to have routines. So, for example, another example, right? Again, going back to the morning routine, right? Once you wake up, you want to know what to do. Like, once you wake up, if you don't know what to do, you just go in your phone for 30 minutes to an hour and just stay in your bed for like an hour or two. And you're like getting lazy and you don't know what to do. You're like, just, yeah, I mean, I have to take a shower and I have to go to the lecture or whatever. Like, you're wasting time, right? But if you had a routine or system to really you just have to follow through without thinking about it. It would be much quicker, much faster, much more efficient, right? You'd be saving much more time because again, you know what to do, right? Now, that's the routine part. So with this exact system and the strategy, I literally took my GPA from 2.2 to 3.7 at UCLA. I ended up graduating in just 3 years. Now, I'm not saying this to like brag about anything or show my accomplishments or whatever, right? I'm literally saying this to show you, impress on you what you could also do, right? I'm no one special, right? I'm not like a talented or my IQ is not that high. I'm just an average kid, right? But if I could do it, you could also do it, right? And I was able to do all this, right, while studying just a few hours a day, still having free time, sleeping enough, working out consistently a couple times a week, being in a relationship. I had a girlfriend, right? Same girlfriend that I have right now, obviously, right? And again, going back to the school life balance, right? Where is it? Yeah, right there. School life balance. I didn't want to just study because I know how painful and stressful it was to like grind out every single day, right? And again, just because you study a lot, it doesn't even mean you're going to get good grades. So why not just study less, right? But study in the right direction, efficiently and effectively, right? Save so much time, and that time saved, you can just make it into a free time that you can just use for whatever that you want to do. Hobbies, sleeping, relationships, club meetings, internships later on, so on and so forth, right? So again, if I can do it, you can do it too. And remember, quality over quantity. Okay. Now, if you want to work with me directly, I mean, I've been helping over 400 students, one-on-one, personally. They've been able to get 3.5 plus GPA while saving so much time. If you want to work with me directly one-on-one, right? Go to my Instagram. It's Tom Kim's. The last two words, MS, doesn't really have any meaning. I mean, Tom Kim was really just taken already, so I had to choose that. But yeah, just give me the word, whatever, now to get started, or just look through my profile and the contents and see what's going on there. And then, yeah, that's it for today. I mean, I hope this video really helped you guys so much. A lot of information here, right? It's time management, studying strategies, and all that kind of stuff, right? And these were literally the things that I struggled with back when I was at UCLA, back when I was in my first and second year, right? And yeah, hope this helps, and talk to you guys later.